my lovely stitchy friends, how are you all doing? This is Mieke. It is March 2021. It is almost officially spring again, my favorite time of year. And I am here to do my long promised and long overdue WIP Parade 2021. I'm sitting in front of the big blue sofa because the majority of the sofa is filled with stuff that I'm going to show you. So if you're not already stitching, grab yourself some stitching or some crochet or knitting. Get yourself a beverage. I normally don't drink coffee during my videos, but I have a glass of water here and an espresso. So that should tell you something about how much I have to show you. We're going to go through the WIPs. Behind the WIPs is a couple of goodies for upcoming new starts that I'm going to show you. And when we head into the live updates at the end of the video, I have yet another exciting installment of Mieke 2.0, Mieke moving forward. But that is only for those of you who are obviously interested, and I will save that until the end of the video. So, I have divided the WIPs in a pile of Heaven and Earth designs, just right out of focus here, non-hates, and yeah, what should I say about this? Yesterday evening, while preparing for, recording this video today, I was looking back at my first WIP parade that I taped in September 2018, so 2.5 years ago. And in that video, I said with a little bit of, red shame on my cheeks that I had 32 WIPs. Well, today, 2.5 years later, I can say without any red cheeks or shame or whatever that I have almost double the amount of WIPs by now. I have fully embraced the fact that I am a process stitcher, that I love sweet stitch what you want when you want. I love, giving my own spin on things with colors, with fabrics, even with that particular hate that we're going to start with in a second. In combining full coverage patterns, I love the process. I finish things every now and then, usually when they are a gift for somebody. And for the rest, I just love the process. So I am by now, I think, up to 55, maybe even 56 WIPs. And I told you in my previous video in December of last year that I had made 2 piles out of those. The pile that is lying here is the active WIPs, the things that I still love, the things that I want to get finished at some point. The things that I see, myself hanging on the walls of my new house here. And there is a pile of inactive WIPs or maybe even UFOs, unfinished objects, that I, potentially still want to continue at some point, but they are not focus pieces for me as it is right now. So they are safely tucked away in the big craft cabinet that I showed you last time. I'm not binning them, I'm not giving them away, they will be there, and I hope that at some point I will pick them up. So this video is going to be a WIP parade of the active WIPs, and as it stands there are, enough things to talk about in the active WIP department, and then the new starts that I will show you later. Like I said, there is a pile of hate here, so the full coverage pieces, there is a pile of non-full coverage pieces, and I think given my love of hate this year that I will start with the first category. And then we are going to start with this beautiful lady. If I have, by the way, I should mention that, if I have the cover picture either on paper or digitally, I will show it to you, of course. And that means that we are going to start with Dropbox. Do you hear the birds outside? Oh, I love it when spring is in the air. Love, love, love it. And the first piece that I'm going to show you is a favorite of mine and a favorite of yours. The beautiful Astray by Rachel Anderson. I have finished 4 pages on her, which is most that I've ever finished on a Hate. And here she goes. Top left corner, and you can maybe see, I don't know if it will show up, the sparkly petite treasure braid that is going to appear in her wings. What am I doing? I'm holding it upside down. Oh jeez, we're off to a good start here. Okay, rewind. Here is Annerique. Oh jeez. If this is any indication of how messy this video is going to become, then we are up for quite a ride. This is Annerique as I should show it to you. This is the top left corner, and I am moving my way diagonally down into the beautiful blue center. And here we have the sparkly wings. I've done a whole mini stitching essay on how I am combining the regular version of her for the background and then the max color version for Annerique herself, and the very bright blue, electric blue circle in the middle. That is 3 videos ago, I think, if you want to know more about that. So this is a combination of max color and regular colors. And the hashtag for this beautiful stitch along is Rachel Salderson on Instagram. If you have a Rachel Salderson piece, or if you know, a debate starting one of her beautiful pieces, I cannot recommend her enough. Her stuff, if like me, you love, you know, fantasy and fairies, is just gorgeous. I have, I think, 4 or 5 of her beautiful fairy ladies, and Annerique is you know, my favorite with all the blues. But she makes wonderful designs. So that's Annerique. Okay. Sip of coffee. Next up is a piece that I have been non-stop working on since probably the beginning of the year. If I'm not mistaken, I have only worked on Peacock Daisy by Hate, coming up in a second here, since the beginning of 2021. Here she is. This is gonna go on the backroom wall for sure. Started in the top left corner as usual. This was a freebie a couple of years ago. It is retired. You can't get this anymore, unfortunately. She is gorgeous. And when I was going through the craft cabinet a while back, this piece came out of the pile, and it totally beckoned me again. And I have since finished the first 3 pages. Ta-da! Oh! Look at that. This is, and I mean, look at how wonderful it fits with the couch. I might also hang it in the living room. We'll see. Probably years and years ahead of me before I need to make that decision, right? Just like Annerique, I am stitching Peacock Daisy on Zweigart 18 count Davosa in, this is either off-white or ecru. I love stitching my Hades on this. It is 18 count, so perfect coverage with 2 strands, and it has that soft feeling of a Zweigart even weave instead of the often more stiffer feel of Ada, and I like that. Yeah, this is, together with Annerique, this is my favorite Heaven and Earth design. And once this video is done and uploaded to YouTube, it might very well be that I put this back in the Q-snaps. But I finished the 3rd page last week, and I kept it out of the Q-snaps to show it to you in her full glory. Love this one. Next up is my, not my oldest Heaven and Earth design, but judging by the Q-snap covers here, I think it is the oldest active Heaven and Earth design that I'm working on. And it is the first one that I ever put in my Hate wish list. It is the beautiful Night Moves by Jim Warren, which when finished will look like this. Loads of DMC 995 and 996. Oh, this reminds me, I think I've said it before, this reminds me of the coast in southern Spain. Not that I've ever seen, you know, horses or unicorns come out of the waves there, but the light and the upcoming moon is something that you can see over there, and it's just, love it. I've also done quite a bit on that piece. And here is where we are with that beautiful one. Special mention for Patricia. Look, sparkly unicorn needlewinder. That is a running joke. Patricia loves unicorn things. This is, I'm gonna move a little bit closer so I can show you the moon. This moon is made up of tans and olive greens and even shades of purpley gray. And back when I was stitching this, I remember that I thought, oh my gosh, what's this gonna end up looking like? And then when you take it out of the Q-snap and you watch it from a distance, it fits perfectly. So once again, always trust the chart. That's Night Moves. Next up is the one that I'm working on right now. The Stitch Along hashtag Tea with Nice Company sale that we started last year for Dunja's birthday, Passion for Crafting. Aquarius Max Color version by Pat Brennan. Up until this day, I have still never seen this one stitched up, so if any of you know somebody else who's working on this, please point me to that person. I would love, love, love to see another stitcher working on this. This is a height that is enormous. She is going to be almost 800 stitches tall once finished, and she is 625 wide. I have the wish to one day hang her in my bathroom. Maybe that will happen once I am in a retirement home. I have no idea. But yeah, she's just, I mean, she's lovely. And like I said at the beginning, I'm very much a process stitcher. So I am fine with things taking a million years to ever get finished. I started in the bottom left corner because back in the day when I bought this chart, Haidt was still recharting their DMC 08 and DMC 09 usage in the charts. This one was still, under construction, and I wanted to start her. So I started in the bottom left corner, and as an added bonus, that means that I will save the beautiful electric blue and her beautiful face for last. And here she is. I showed you earlier this week on Instagram that I finished a page on her, and I have since moved into a new page. Bubbles, 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 loads of black, and I am moving my way across the bottom row. You may see a weird division here. That is because from this page forward, I have loaded the corrected chart, so the chart without 08 and 09 into Pattern Keeper. And for some weird reason, the normal chart doesn't work in Pattern Keeper, and the large chart pack, so the one with the, the smaller pages, smaller grids per page, does work in Pattern Keeper. So I have to email Michelle about that. But that's why you see, a weird line going over the pages. If you look at this, it looks like just a couple of shades of black and green, but there are, by now, I believe, almost 40 colors in this. The charting is just, wonderful. Here, if I let the sunlight fall on it, you can see a little bit more that there are also shades of blue and teals in there. Up next, another Haidt chart that starts with an A. Almond Blossom Blue by Vincent van Gogh. I had wished for years that Haidt would someday chart this, and last year they did. And I mean, look at that chart and then look at the blue sofa. It's perfect. This is one that is definitely going above the couch once it's finished. I can't wait. There's loads of 3844, 3845, my favorite range of DMC. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And since last time you saw it, I have made a little start on the second page. So this is again top left corner, 18 count Devosa. I forgot to mention that with Aquarius, I'm stitching Aquarius on 20 count Balana because of all the black, so that gives better coverage. But apart from Aquarius, all my heights are stitched on 18 count Devosa. This is, I mean, this is me. This is just gorgeous. Next up is, hashtag Strelkina cell. Last year for my birthday, I started a piece by a Russian designer, if I'm not mistaken, Nadia Strelkina. This beautiful fairy tale. Fairy to max color version. There's just something about her designs. I don't know. I know that a lot of people who like Strelkina designs also are into Josephine Wall designs. That is not my thing, but Strelkina, I don't know, there's something about her use of colors and her use of, you know, light versus shadow that I really, really, really like. And here is where I got to so far. This is another fan favorite. Oh, look at that. Top left corner, again, first we had a big dark page with background and trees. And on the second page, we moved into the beautiful fantasy castle. Look at those colors, look at that charting. Honestly, Michelle from Heaven and Earth Designs is a genius. This is a fun one. Loads of color changes, of course, but such a fun one. Let's see. Yes, there's one more height, and then I have 3 other full coverage ones. In my December video, so 3 months ago almost, I told you that I had started, yet another height, to celebrate the fact that I was 100% back at work. So 100%, you know, sick file closed, company doctor done, that whole circus is now behind me. And I started a piece by Jonathan Earl Bowser called Deep Water, the max color version. This gorgeous lady. And I started her because she, you know, she reminds me of the journey that I've been on and still am on. You know, being surrounded by stormy seas, big waves, and yet she stands there tall and strong and commanding the waves as they, you know, rush around her. Top left corner, so not much to see yet. The first page is done, and what you can see is waves splashing up from the rock that is gonna appear somewhere on the next row of pages. This is a very different type of blue. These are more the, you know, the purpley gray lavender blue. So it is a nice, you know, palette cleanser, let's say, from the more green blues that are in my other pieces. First page done, and yeah, I love the symbolism in her. Those are my active heights. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jemima, the rocking stitcher, did we say we had to cut it off at 10? I think 7 is a good number to have in your active WIP pile. Maybe one more is going to be added once that beautiful blue fractal by Elizabeth Welker gets released. But yeah, this you know, this should serve me for decennia to come. I have 3 other full coverage pieces here that are Carolyn Manning designs from the Shooting Star collection. First up, we have the very well-known Northern Lights. This one. Then we have the equally beautiful Moonstone. And thirdly, we have Turquoise, my favorite. Northern Lights is probably the most famous of the Shooting Star collection. Moonstone and Turquoise were added to that collection somewhere last year. And I told you back then that I see the 3 as a triptych in the hallway or somewhere else in my house. This is my start on turquoise. Lots of 3808, so that is the beautiful dark teal here, which is the closest DMC shade to my bedroom walls. Northern Lights has a smaller start, but beautiful, beautiful combination of bright colors. And Moonstone has just had, you know, a very, very minor start, but started nonetheless. That was the full coverage pile. 10 pieces, 7 Hayes, 3 Carolyn Manning designs. I could just stop there, but I won't. Next pile is the non-full coverage designs. So now we are coming to things like ink circles, long dog samplers, Northern Expressions. Let me take a sip and then we'll dive into those. A lot of these you haven't seen for a long time because my attention has been, you know, going to the full coverage pieces. But these are WIPs that I still love and I want to finish. The first one is one that hasn't seen the light of day for a long time. It is Ink Circles Tapestry. Or at least my blue version of Tapestry. This is being stitched on 32 count vintage grey Murano by Zweigart in a pick colors as you go collection of coloring cottons and Fiberlicious and DMC color variations and even Karen water lilies. And now that I look at it, still my favorite combination remains this one. This beautiful bright electric blue is by Fiberlicious, and then this purpley blue is Azurite by Coloring Cotton. Oh, I know I should get back to this. I mean, I am halfway done. Yeah, sort of halfway done. I've made all my color choices. I have noted them down either in a document or on my Instagram. So yeah, this one deserves a finish, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Is that hashtag still alive? Hashtag IC Tapestry? I might be the one person who still hasn't finished it, but okay. Love this one. Next up, I put this pile together late last night, so for me it is also a surprise what is coming up next. Next up is the first long dog samplers in the pile, but you know, not by any means the last one. Game of Swans. And when you see the original, you might say, that's not a Mika design. And you'd be right. This is Game of Swans. Beautiful autumnal colors, not at all my, you know, usual colors. But I loved the symmetry in this. I have a thing for symmetrical designs. And when I saw our friend from Mexico, Yanni, stitch this in a single color, a variegated color, I totally borrowed that idea. And I looked at this design in a whole new way and I thought, that's a good idea. And what better thread to use than the thread that was named after me? Mrs. Seda's Darling. I think everybody on Flosstube knows the beautiful threads by Mrs. Sedas by now. Mrs. Sedas is the wonderful Raquel from Spain. Hola! And this was one of, you know, her hit colorways, Darling, and she named it, you know, after me, which is still something that boggles my mind, but I love it. Darling is beautiful, green and blue, and just, it gives me a summer at the sea feeling. And I'm stitching Game of Swans on a cream piece of 28 count Jobelin. And I have found that Miss Uceda silks with Jobelin is a perfect combination. So that is Game of Swans, my take on it, inspired by Yanni. Next up, ooh, is a biggie. Last year, Northern Expressions Needleworks released a proper tapestry, a like wall hanging tapestry size. Or as Patricia would say, hashtag Team Tafelkleed in English, hashtag Team Table Runner. Where are you? Here are you. The design is originally called Tapestry in Teal. Look at that being gorgeous. Nicole, the designer herself, is stitching this at the moment in a combination of variegated silks. And somewhere last week I saw her upload a picture of her work in progress on her Instagram page. So I can definitely recommend that you look her up on Instagram. It's enormous. It's 740 stitches tall. So it's almost as tall as Aquarius by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I converted the colors into a tapestry in turquoise because that would better fit my house. And here is my start on it. As you can tell, this is an extra wide Q-snap and it is filled up with fabric, so that might give you an idea of how enormous this design is going to be. I'm stitching this on 32 count vintage marmor by Zweigart, one of my favorite non-hand-dyed fabrics. For some reason, this fabric just makes blue and greens pop enormously, which I obviously love. This looks like DMC 3844, and it's close to that, but it's number 56 by Miss Uceda's. Beautiful color. This is the lighter shade is DMC 3846. Here we have DMC 964. Here we have Color and Cotton Caribbean. Beautiful, beautiful thread. And this is a blend of DMC 912 and 3845. Oh, gorgeous. I have still a long, long way to go on this design, but yeah, it's just, I love it. I love the shapes. There is something about Northern Expression Needleworks designs that always draws me in. Nicole has a way of charting and a way of combining figures and elements that I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that is Tapestry in Teal converted into Tapestry in Turquoise. And if you look up the hashtag Tapestry in Teal on Instagram, you will see that a couple of people are also working on this and they are converting it into their own color schemes. Beautiful, beautiful. Stitchers are so creative. Next up, we have another Long Dog samplers. The Quaker Design Scarlet Ribbons. And Scarlet Ribbons is a design that you need to keep in mind for the life update of this video that's coming up later. Here is my start on it. This is stitched also on vintage marmor 32 count Zweigart in the elusive, impossible to picture or to record Silks for You PR 147. It always shows up darker blue than it is. It is a gorgeous variegated teal. It is my absolute favorite thread by Silks for You, although as you will see in a bit, it has gotten a bit of competition. That's coming up next, teaser. I told you back in the day that I am going to change the quotes that are in this Quaker style to a quote by Gaudí, my favorite Spanish Barcelonian architect. The original design has, please turn back, has 4 different small quotes placed throughout the design. Practice makes perfect, make much of time, time flies, and love conquers all. And while I agree with all of those, I wanted to make this piece more personal and I am, whenever I get to it, going to put a quote by Gaudí in that says, translated to English, if you want to do great work, you need to love what you do. And that is a teaser for the life update section of this video. Next up, a start from our 2019 Dutch Stitch Retreat. Ladies, I miss you. Ladies and gents, I should say, I miss you. Castle Walls by Ink Circles. And whenever I look at this piece, I think of Chutjes, I think of Debbie, I think of Dunja, I think of Mev, I think of all my beautiful, beautiful friends from retreat. I hope you are well, ladies and gents. And I hope next year we will get a chance to see each other again. This is being stitched on a 36 count piece of Exterior Design linen in turquoise sky. Oh, why did I not stitch on this more? Look at that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. PR 147, just like in Long Dog Samplers. And the darker blue here is Gloriana's Midnight. And I think that is just a gorgeous combination. This is the center. So this bit. I miss Paris. Mev, big kiss. I hope you're okay. Yeah, I love this. Should work on this more. Want to finish. Oh. Next up is the one and only. Am I saying that right? Yes, I'm saying that right. Next up is the one and only Sampler Cove piece in this pile. The beautiful Amtrak. Blame Caroline of the Great Needle Arts. Again, putting my own spin on this into a springtime green minty color combination. I'm stitching this on 32 count Frozen Leaves linen by Exterior Design. There are 3 colors in this piece. The darker green is the Silks for You thread that is, competing with PR 147 for my top 1 favorite thread, because this is exactly the color of my bedroom wall. It is very close to DMC 3808, so it's a beautiful teal, blue-green, highly saturated. I love it. So that is the darker color. The lighter minty green color is a Mesucedas thread, number 38. And then for the borders, we have a green grayish thread. That is a DMC Color Variations 4025. This is the center, and I'm working my way up to the top left. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 2 more to go. And then we move into plants. Next up is another Ink Circles Cirque de Caro. Gorgeous design. Ingeborg, A Stitch Too Far, has a beautiful finish and also FFO of this. And I highly recommend that you check it out. Gorgeous, gorgeous design. I'm stitching this on a Pole Stitches fabric called Sky High. I'm making sure that I'm not going to show it to you holding it upside down. I think this is the right way to go. Pole Stitches, 32 count, Sky High in DMC 4022. My favorite DMC color variations. Oh. Do you know what I love about this? Is that designs like this, with every square or triangle that you finish, you get a sort of mini finish accomplishment. Just beautiful. And then the final piece is another Ink Circles. One that I also started on our 2019 retreat in Roden, Baroque. And I talked about Baroque quite a bit back when I started it. Baroque is a design that, when you see it like this, it doesn't appeal to me. It's just too much. I mean, the Baroque era is known for you know, all these busy, heavy designs. Not my thing, but then I got the idea to, you know, divide it into two colors. The centerpiece, and then work diagonally, make the border into two colors as well. And ever since I got that idea into my head, you know, this piece started speaking to me. I started it first in a couple of threads that I bought at the Handwerk Boutique, the store that we visited during our 2019 retreat in Roden. But I have since restarted it, and that is thanks to Miss Who Said That, Raquel, naughty lady. In 2019, yes, at the end of 2019, Raquel released this colorway, which is Peacock. And Peacock is beautiful, you know, tonally variegated. DMC 3808 with a little bit of 3810 in it. It is a gorgeous, subtle, beautiful teal color, and I am combining it with PR123 by Silks for You. So you get you will get a design that is, how do I put this? In fabric and in thread choice, easy to look at. The colors, you know, are not too bright. They don't jump out at you because the design itself is already quite busy. But because there is going to be a little bit of variation within the same tonal range, it gets interesting, at least for me. Those are the active WIPs. I didn't count them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. Yeah. What did I say? 10 full coverage ones and 7 non-full coverage ones. 17 WIPs. That's not too bad out of a selection of more than 50. That's not too bad, I think. Okay, let's move into new starts. Ooh, I'm saving best for last. First up is a beautiful combination of teal and purple. Oh, look at that being gorgeous. This is Extra Design 32 count linen in light cornflower, which is a beautiful, you know, pale purple. It's actually, ooh, I didn't plan this, but it's close to my nail polish. That's nice. With PR123, that beautiful, beautiful teal color, combined with PR1, oh dear, 145, yes. And 145 is a combination of teal, green, gray, and beautiful purple. Annerique Stitching Choco over at Instagram has done Linen and Threads 2020 Quaker in this colorway. So if you want to look that up, it is fabulous. And she inspired me to buy this colorway. And I am going to do a restart with these materials. A long dog samplers restart. Namely, Pavane. This is Pavane. A beautiful design from last year, and I love the quote. It says, "Turn your face to the sun and the shadows will fall behind you." Easier said than done sometimes, but I so very much agree. I started Pavane for these times with Mev last year because we enabled each other in a WhatsApp call that we did during our first lockdown. And I started stitching it on a blue piece of Extra Design linen with a DMC color variations that was very blue purple. And I don't know, it you know, sometimes you start something. That is of course the risk with going your own way with color choices and fabric choices. Something looks good when you've spread it out on the table, when you look at the materials as they are, and then you start stitching on it and it doesn't give you the same feeling. So I'm going to start Pavane again. I'm going to restart it, I should say, and then I'm going to divide it in parts for you know, the solid PR 123 and the more variegated PR 145. I think that is going to be gorgeous. Not my usual colors, but yeah, lovely. Next up is, you know, this bad boy, PR 147. Why won't you ever show up as gorgeous as you are? You know, maybe this is a trick. Maybe this is a trick by Silks for You. Because everybody that I know who's bought a hank of this always says in their pictures and videos, I can't get this to show up properly. Maybe this is a marketing trick. Maybe this is a subliminal message saying that everybody who loves blue and teal should buy a hank of this, just so they can marvel at it in real life. I see what you're doing, Silks for You. Very, very smart. Very smart. I have by now, I think, 4 hanks of this. And they are into various projects, as you've seen. And I'm going to add one more. On. Look at this. This is vintage blue. No, it's not called vintage blue. Give me 1 second. This is a Swigart piece, 32 count. It's the latest brother, sister, nephew, cousin, whatever, of vintage marmor. It's not called vintage blue. What is it? Give me a sec while I work it out. Good preparation, Mika. Who cares? You're stitching, you're fine, and I'm fine as well. I'm surrounded by beautiful stitching stuff. What's not to like? Yes, Vintage Country Atlantic. Let me show you on the side. This is Casa Senina, a big Italian stitching shop. So Vintage Country Atlantic, that's the name of the fabric. And look at how that combines. And this is going to be used for a band sampler by Wienberg Designs. I have a narrow length of wall space, empty wall space in the hallway. And I contemplated to, you know, make a sort of band sampler for that. And then I came across the Quaker Welcome Band Sampler by Wienberg Designs. Here it is. It's bright, bright red on the screen, so I hope you can see it. It says welcome spelled out in the center, and it is surrounded by all sorts of beautiful Quaker motifs. And that is going to be this piece. I have a full yard of this fabric because it's going to be a biggie. And, you know, I can see this hanging on that narrow band of wall space and then stitched in PR 147. More. I like. That's another upcoming start. And then last but not least, the upcoming start that I am most excited about. It's a design by Vivian Powers, aka Vivsters on Etsy. And Vivsters is a relatively new, and at least new to me, designer on Etsy. And if you follow Leticia, the crafty curator, hey love, you have seen her stitching Vivian's Ottoman tiles. And I love the design, but I wasn't, you know, too fond of the original colorway. Since then, Vivienne has, you know, seen a big uptick in sales for that particular piece. And she has started releasing it in a couple of more colorways. First up was the mono version. And I bought that thinking that I would stitch it in a hank of silk by Silks for You. Because this would look fabulous in a beautiful saturated color. But then a couple of days ago, she released a blue colorway. And I have been playing around with that one. Let me first show you the original. This is Ottoman Tiles Blue. And if I tell you that I changed colors in that, it will probably come as no surprise that I swapped the more olive green, yellow green colors in that. The colors that she used for those, squares are 906 and 907. And those are just not colors that would fit in my house and with my, furniture and interior. Her designs, big plus, are uploadable into Pattern Keeper. And once a chart is, uploaded into Pattern Keeper, you can play around with colors. So I had a lot of fun doing that. And I have ultimately come up with my own version of Ottoman Tiles Blue, namely this. No! I've swapped out the purples in the original design for warm golds so that they will fit the lamps that I have in the living room and in the bedroom. And I have swapped out the olive yellow greens for green teals. And also I have swapped navy blue 939 for bright royal blue 820. And this is going to be my version of Vivienne's Ottoman Tiles Blue. Oh, look at that. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's a biggie. It's 350 stitches wide by 250 stitches tall. So you need, quite a piece of fabric for it. And luckily, I have quite a stash of extra design linens. This is gold sand. Yes, gold sand, 32 count. And I think that is going to go perfectly. I've already, laid out the DMC colors, so let's see if I can show those to you. The major color, 820. $824 and $826 and $800. Those three are in the original design. Of course, I had to add DMC 3844 and then the golds. Where are you? Yeah, 833 and 831. These are more what you would call antique gold. So they're not bright yellow gold, but they are richer antique gold. So they lean just a little bit towards that olive tint that is in the original Ottoman blue tiles, but then in a gold variety. And then lastly, we have teals, 3808. 3848 and 3847. Let's see if this is going to work. So here we go. Did you see that? Oh. So yeah, once again, that is my spin on Vivienne Power's Ottoman Tiles Blue. And with these colors, I can hang it both in the living room as well as in the bedroom. Oh. I think this might go into the Q-Snap once this video is uploaded to YouTube. I can't wait to start this. So, that is the stitching bit of this video. I've shown you my 17 active WIPs, 10 full coverage, 7 non-full coverage. I've showed you my 3 upcoming starts. Ooh, that ends us at a beautiful grand total of 20. 20 for 2021. So that leaves one more spot open for, let's say, another hate or, oh, I like that. 20 WIPs, active WIPs, with room for one more. Sounds good to me. Then, life updates for those of you who would like to know. First up, I want to say a big thank you to all of you that wrote me messages either on Instagram or here on YouTube saying, "Hey, Mika, you thought you would be back in January. I just wanted to check if you're all right." Thank you so much. Thank you for thinking of me and checking up on me. I have been wonderful. It's just been busy. Despite lockdown, it's been a crazy couple of months, both at work as well as in the weekends, but I am all good. I am doing fine, and the house is going great. This is so very much my home, and I love being here. I can't wait for the fountain in the water down below to turn on again once spring is officially here. I just love seeing the sun go down in the evenings now that the light is with us a little bit longer. I love this place. I feel grounded here. I feel good. Sleep is going on and off. I think that has to do also, with the days getting longer and the sun shining earlier in the morning. I noticed that I dream a lot the last couple of weeks. I sometimes wake up feeling like I'm in a different universe because my dreams have been so vivid. So sleep has been a little bit bothering me, but not to a point where it is a problem. And I also think that has to do with the event that is coming up. I am going to start a new job in the month of May, most probably. And for that, I want to go back to that long dog samplers that I talked about. Can I pick it up easily from the pile here? No, it's buried in the pile. I will show you on the iPad. Last night, I rewatched my 2018 WIP parade in preparation for this one. That was 2.5 years ago, September 2018. And September 2018 was the month in which everything came tumbling down. Back then, I was going to start Long Dog Samplers, Scarlet Ribbons. And I just told you about that quote from Gaudi that I'm going to put in here about, if you want to do great work, you need to love what you do. That has become a recurring theme in my working life. Once I started going back to work, and once luckily we saw that things were slowly but surely improving, I talked to my boss about starting a job coach. She agreed. We got a little bit of budget to do that, and I was put into contact with a lovely, super kind, super professional, super warm woman named Ellen. And Ellen and I have been talking to each other virtually for a couple of months now. And I said to Ellen, my first goal is to become 100% fully back at work again. That was my goal for 2020. And then for 2021, I would like to explore the possibilities of, maybe finding a new job. Back in the day when I got sick, I was working as a process manager, a business process manager. Stupid empty titles in our company. My talents and my interests in the work life lie very much with text, languages, writing, communicating with our customers. And business process management is not that. You use your language skills, but it is a means to an end instead of your output, your targets, the goal that you work towards. And I talked about that with Ellen for, a couple of months. And I told her, I know where my talents lie. And I feel that my talents are wasted in the job that I have right now. I love my colleagues. I love my team. I so very much love it that I have managed to come back to work 100%. But business process management and me it's not a happy marriage. The work that I do is useful, it's necessary, it creates value for the company and indirectly also our customers, but it doesn't stimulate me on a creative level. I miss writing. So we talked about that, and I also talked to her about, my concerns, applying for a job in the middle of a lockdown, in the middle of these weird corona times. I have a couple of co-workers who started in my team during our lockdown, and I find that so brave. It must be so weird to get to know this portion of your co-workers. I mean, for the whole of 2020, I've seen my team once in real life. That was an afternoon at sea, and that was that. For the rest, you only see this. And if you've never seen your co-workers in real life, it's weird. It's weird. So I take my hat off to everybody who, started a new job in our company last year. And I said to Ellen, I don't know if that would be good for me, if I want, that added level of stress. And she relaxed me and she said to me, you're overthinking things. You're worrying too much about something that might not become a problem at all. Focus on what you want. You want to write. You want to go back to, your love of language and your love of writing for your customers and, making content. And she said, a major question is, would you be willing to leave your company where you're working now? And I said, well, preferably not. I work for a big, stable company. And especially in these corona times, I see the added value that gives. I am not the type of person who would like to have my own company, who would like to be an entrepreneur. I don't see myself doing that. I don't have a desire to pursue a career like that. Okay, she said, so basically you have, two priorities. You would like to continue working for the company that you work for now, yes. And you want to go back to, text and language and writing, yes. And then I said to her, you know what, we have this internal job vacancy database where vacancies are put up for 2 weeks before they go, on external sites. Why don't I start, checking that regularly? So I did that. And throughout the months that I did, most of the vacancies that popped up were finance, IT, risk management, process management, nothing to do with text and writing. And then about a month ago, in February, 2 communications vacancies opened up. One was a broader, more branding type of communications, and the other was a very specific job working as what we call a content specialist. So somebody who really, really writes. I sent the 2 job descriptions to Ellen, and the next time we met online, I asked her, so what do you think is my favorite? And she instantly knew, well, yeah, the content specialist one. And I said, yes. But I said, I don't have all the skills that they ask. What should I do? Shall I write? Do I dare? And in the end, I did. Together, we uploaded and refreshed my resume. I wrote a apparently super creative letter of motivation, and I got invited to the first round of talks. I was nervous. I was really nervous, because everything obviously goes online, so you miss a whole lot of especially non-verbal communication. But that first initial talk, it felt good. It felt right. The atmosphere was right. I felt that I could be myself. The 2 people that I talked to, seemed to be genuinely asking, hey, who are you? Much more than what is your skill set. So I like that. It shows that they care about you as a person instead of, an employee with this and this and this and that. So I felt good after that first round. And they told me that they would get back to me within a couple of days. They didn't. They got back to me the same day within a couple of hours, inviting me to the second round. And the second round consisted of a writing assignment and a personality assessment. And when I was, working on that writing assignment, it felt so good. It felt so good. I felt, at ease with it. I felt the creativity flowing. I was having so much fun with it. And the Monday following, I had 2 conversations in the morning. First was an hour about the writing assignment, and second was an hour with HR about my personality assessment. And the people that I talked about the writing assignment with, they said, yeah, we can just see from the text how much you enjoyed it. We can see how creative you are, and that felt so good. So second round done. They promised me that they would get back probably the week after. And again, they were much quicker than that. 3 days later, on Thursday afternoon, I was sitting on the couch here, and my, now soon to be new boss called me and said, we are so enthusiastic about you. We would like to offer you the job. And I was sitting there going, what? I mean, yeah, it felt good, but oh my gosh. Okay, yes, please. And so now my current manager and my soon-to-be new manager are, discussing when I can switch. Probably somewhere in April or at the very least the beginning of May. You guys, I'm going back to full-time writing. I can't wait. It is a very, very nice job in a new field. It's called UX and content, so user experience and content. It's a field that has, had my work interest for a couple of years. It is relatively new, especially within insurance companies. So this, this design, the whole Gaudí quote that I'm going to put in there about if you want to be, good and great at your work, you have to love what you do. When I said that 2.5 years ago, I could not have foreseen that that dream was going to come true in the spring of 2021. So, yeah, another goal achieved, another goal, dream achieved, I should probably say. I'm nervous, definitely. I find it very difficult to say goodbye to my current team because I love my colleagues. I told them the news last week and it really, really impacted my sleep and my energy levels. I was so tired when the weekend came around. But as I've learned now, that's part of, letting go. And I'm going to take 2 weeks of vacation in between job A and job B. Do some work on the house, hopefully, spend some days at the sea, at the shore with Patricia, because she has her holidays in the same time period. And then either end of April or early May, I'm starting in my new position. I have no idea what that's going to mean for my stitching time, but I think it is safe to say that I am going to be away from Flosstube for a while. I hope it will not be months and months and months, but I am not gonna, mention an expected month of taping a new video. I have no idea. I will be stitching, I will be updating on Instagram, obviously, but I have no idea when I will be back on Flosstube. So yeah, that is my story. That is the WIPs, that is the upcoming new starts, that is the life update. If you're still with me now, I would like to thank you very much. I realized last night when I was preparing for this video that this month, March 2021, marks my 5-year anniversary on Flosstube. I've been a part of this beautiful tribe community for 5 years. And I hope there will be many more 5-year terms to come. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you've been stitching away happily. I wish you all the best and a big hug from me. Ciao, my friends.